Alright, somebody suggested I make a video about receiving a station that has weak signal that is very close to a station that's booming. So I'm going to start first with a little bit of theory so you understand what's going on here. If you want to have a radio that's very quiet, you need the first local oscillator to be really quiet. Usually you have a pulse signal that is from 0 to some voltage here, and right here with the wiggly line, that's the noise floor. You want this noise to be really low noise, because what happens, you got the antenna, you got the RF amplifier and or attenuator. Some radios have this variable bandpass filter. Then you get a little preamplifier here and a tiny signal that might be, let's say, 0.1 microvolt. Well, if the local oscillator, the first one, has some noise here and it mixes with this one, you will not hear that signal. So you want this to be really low. Now, ideally, you want this signal to be a sine. And the reason is, if you go through signal processing by infinite series, you're going to learn that a square signal is actually the fundamental. So you got a frequency here, plus the double of the fundamental and the quarter of the fundamental and so forth. So you end up with the fundamental here and first and second and so forth. So what happens, and you go, let's say this is 1 meg, you end up with 2 megs, 4 megs and so forth, and you get half and 0.15 and so forth this way. So the noise floor is where I did the wiggle, but these fundamentals can go higher. And what happens, it starts ringing in the electronics and they can mess up with this signal. You cannot understand it well if you get a square. So some radios, they just don't have the local oscillator generate square, but straight sine, or they have an integrator. So this is the square signal, go through an integrator, f of x, and you end up with a sine. So before you got some fundamentals here, see the lines here, and after you get the fundamentals and maybe some tiny harmonics because there is no perfect sine. And let me show this quick. I've got this Grunding satellite radio. Hold on, it will take me a minute. So this is the local oscillator. So what happens, actually it's not the local oscillator, it's the first mixer. So the square comes right in here, gets a little bit amplified by this transistor, and then all these inductors and capacitors, before it gets into the mixer here, this is the integrator right here. So square becomes sine. That's how they did in the past with high quality radios. Now, so this is one thing that's needed for low noise radio. The variable bandpass filter is another thing that's desired. And I can tell you right now, this one doesn't have variable bandpass filter. This one doesn't have variable bandpass filter. And I will show you how they look like, okay? So let's go through some theory. Oh, by the way, my boy got me this for Christmas, mostly because it matches my eyes. So let's go here. What happens, you have, let's say, the HF band, and you got some fixed bandpass filters. You like it like that. You want it like that. Because if you got a strong signal here, it will be attenuated by the second bandpass, and if this one is very nasty, it will not affect the next portion of the HF. But what you want, ideally, is to have this. So what happens? You have, this is the AM. You have a station here that's very strong, and the bandwidth is 5 here, 5 here. In reality, it's actually kind of square. You know, it goes like this. And a little bit of splatter. And then you have a weak station here. You want to hear the weak one. So strong station, actually they can go further than 5 up to 10, basically invading this. Well, if you have digital filtering, basically here you want to hear the strong signal, you get everything is eliminated, everything is eliminated. So you hear only this. If you listen to the weak one, everything on this side is eliminated, everything on this side is eliminated. But the splatter from this one still goes in here, and you'll hear it. Now, the variable bandpass, the way it works, you move from the strong signal and you tune to the weak signal. When you tune, this filter, because it cuts so abruptly, well, some cuts wide, not much, then some cuts a little bit more abruptly, and some very abrupt. So when they cut like this strong station goes down a lot, including the splatter. So you'll hear this one a lot more clearly. So you want variable. Let me show you how it looks, and I'm gonna shock you a little bit, because old transistor radios that you go like, you know, the old transistor or tube radios were clearer, were better than SDR and digital. Well, let me show you why. So I'm gonna pull my trusty laptop here, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna do some magic here. There you go. All right. This schematic has one variable capacitor with 1 and 2 connected to each other. This is FM, and then also connected to, you go down, 1 and 2 for medium waves and short waves. Now, let's go back here. This is the FM, goes in. This is the first tank or circuit with the variable capacitor. This is actually a variable bandpass filter. This one is a local oscillator. All right, we go up. Same thing for the AM. You got the antenna here, go through these tanks here. This is the, I think, this is the medium wave, this is the long waves, this is the short wave 1 and short wave 2. So what happens, signal goes in here, and this variable capacitor is tuning the tank. It becomes a variable bandpass filter. Now this transistor plays two roles, mixer and oscillator, and this variable capacitor messes up with these little inductors here and create a sine, and together this is the first stage. Then it goes into intermediate frequency amplifier, and then you get through, how's it called, discriminator, whatever, for FM and all that. So this is one simple radio. Now if we look at this radio, this is a lot cooler. If you look here, the FM side of it has actually 3 tanks. There are, what's the word, tuned. So the bandpass filter is a lot more square instead of being wide and actually being interfered by strong stations, because this one is so abrupt. You get 3 of these filters put together. Then you get to eliminate other stations a lot better. So more tanks, a lot better. This is the local oscillator, and if you look here at medium and short waves and long waves, you actually get, I think this is the local oscillator right here, and you get one capacitor that does the magic for local oscillator. But then you get one tank in here, you got one variable capacitor, and you get another tank here. The FM has 3 tanks with 3 capacitors, and HF and so forth got only 2 tanks and local oscillator. So to me, the FM is a lot sharper and better. I was talking about with only 1 tank. If you see this line here, the bandpass filter is not that narrow, but more tanks you add, narrower it gets. Well, so that's the theory about this filtering. Now, the radios that have variable bandpass filters are rare and they're a lot more expensive. For instance, this is FTDX 10. The big brother is FTDX 101 MP. That one has variable bandpass filter. That is an awesome radio. All right, so we're gonna compare the radios. Let me turn this up a little bit. The station that is loud is actually on 1340, right here. Whoa. All right, so we're gonna compare this, and we get this noise. I'm gonna turn on this one. So from what I hear, this Q900 cannot filter out as well as FTDX 10. That's how life is. I'm sorry, but if you listen, you can hear more from 40 getting into the 30 on the Q900 than you can hear on FTDX 10. Let's see, let's do it again. Oh, turn up the volume.
Do you want your business advertising?
Well, when you got talking here, obviously it's not going to interfere that much.
Wait, that's 931.
I think music started on 40.
That will take care of everything.
I'm going to try a sideband. I'm going to put it in lower sideband. See what happens. Oh, I missed it. There you go. Looks like the Q900, the lower sideband is a lot better than my FTDX. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, that's what I did. There you go. I thought the button. There you go. For some reason, this one works better with the sideband. These are settings on the radio. Same thing 42, because if I go higher, it might start ringing with this antenna. I've got the loop antenna. This one goes to one radio, this one goes to another radio. They are the same quality. There's nothing changed. And this switch, fantastic switch. I cannot make it better. So it doesn't have to be fantastic, but anyway, let's go to another frequency. Get rid of this one. Let's go to 600 and some change. All right, there you go. So there's a strong station. Where is it? I think I missed it. Hold on. It might be 640, the strong station. Let me check. Hold on, let's disable this. Go down a lot. Yeah, so this one is really strong. 650, my bad. Let's increase 40 here. So we're gonna listen to, let's go AM. Oh, I cannot. AM, and let's do AM. There you go. And listen to edges. All right. So this is what I get. I get nothing. I don't hear any station. It's so strong. Same here. All right, let me move to 660. Right here. All right. Let's do 60 on this one. Oh, they're both horrible. They're really both horrible. They cannot filter out the strong station. All right, let me put it on sideband. All right, let's see what I get. And it's 60, right? I'm gonna lock it. All right. It sounds awesome. Once it's in a sideband, the station that's loud is filtered out. Let's see. Let's do the same on this one. Turn it up. So the FTDX I think the FTDX does a better job, not by much, but I think it does a better job by eliminating the station that's really loud on sideband. If I put on AM, it's horrible, just horrible. What in the world? I'm touching this button, so every time I move it, the notch gets enabled. So sideband, it can cut the signal. So that was the loud station. This is the weak station.
30 games to go.
loud station, weak station. Let's see the FTDX then. All right. What's the lesson from this presentation? They're not that great at reducing interference from a strong station. They're really not. Because none of them have variable bandpass filter. They have just the digital, and they do great if you can cut like single sideband. Maybe FTDX is a little bit better, but not by much. So Q900, fantastic. I guess you got the idea about low signals and variable bandpass filters from my little presentation that I have here. Next, I'm gonna do a test transmitting, see the difference between FTDX and Q900. I can tell you right now, Q900 should be about 7 to 8 dBs weaker than this one. And if you're thinking that you can cross the ocean with this one, you got it wrong. Okay, unless you get into the gray areas and all that magic. So that's about it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll do another one later. Bye bye.